Lauren here with another cute DIY tutorial. This time I'm going to show you how to make these two embroidered Studio Ghibli pins out of felt. There's this little Totoro and a Soot Sprite holding a star candy. I love Studio Ghibli films. Give me a thumbs up if you do too. So I've been excited because recently G-Kids reached out to me and they're going to be hosting Ghibli Fest again this year along with Fathom Events, getting 9 Studio Ghibli films back in theaters over the course of 9 months. I've personally only gotten to see one Studio Ghibli film in the theater so far and it was absolutely beautiful, so I was excited to help promote it even though I'm not getting paid to do so. They're starting off with Ponyo near the end of March, so if you'd like more information on how you can see that in a theater near you, read the video description below. There's also a link to a giveaway where you can win tickets and possibly other prizes if you're interested. I'm personally most excited for Spirited Away, which is my favorite, and it looks like they're going to be screening that in October. Tell me what your favorite Studio Ghibli films are in the comments below. Now onto the DIY tutorial. Read the video description below for a list of the materials I used to make these pins, and you'll also find a link to the free downloadable pattern. Print out the pattern PDF that I linked to in the video description and cut out each of the pieces. For reference, I put the details onto the largest pieces, so for those, just cut out the main shape. We'll be starting out with Totoro. Pin each piece onto felt in the colors and quantities marked on the pattern and trim around the templates. Using the main Totoro template as a guide, place the 2 eye shapes onto the smaller Totoro shape that has the tummy cut out. Thread some black 6-strand embroidery floss onto a needle and tie a knot at the end, then stitch an oval shape onto the first white oval to make an eye and attach the circle to the front Totoro shape. I just came up through the felt at the bottom of the shape, then down through the felt at the top of it, repeating it until I have a round shape in the middle of the white felt. Once you're happy with that and the thread is coming out of the back of the felt, go over to the other eye and repeat that step, trying to get them to look as even as you can. He needs a nose next, so keep using that piece of embroidery floss to stitch a horizontal line between his eyes. I repeated that 3 times to thicken up the line. To tie it off, flip to the back and hook your needle around a nearby stitch, then put your needle through the loop your thread makes and pull it tight so the knot forms up against that stitch. Trim off the excess thread. I also wanted to make a thin mouth, so I split some black embroidery floss into 2 3-strand pieces and used one of them to thread the needle, knot the end, and stitch one thin line like I have marked on the pattern. Tie it off on the back. Now we'll stitch the upside down V's on Totoro's belly. Knot the end of a 3-strand piece of gray embroidery floss, then push the needle up on one side of the first V. Push it back down through the fabric at the top of the V to make the first side, then bring the needle back up on the opposite end of the V, mirroring where the first point was. To complete it, push the needle down through the top of the V again, and you've stitched the first shape. Repeat that as many times as you'd like across the top half of the belly, then tie it off on the back like we did for his face. To turn this into a pin, I'm using one of these flat-backed bar pins. Mine has a lock on one end, so I'm opening that up. Then take the full Totoro shape, which will end up being the back of the pin, and line up the pin on the back side of that. Make sure it's not flipped because you'll need to lay the front piece with all of the details on top, and it should line up exactly. While you hold the pin on the back, use a sharp pair of scissors to cut 2 slits through the felt, one where each end of the pin is. This is a little tricky, but it'll be on the back, so at least there's that. Take the pin, bring it around to the other side, and poke the ends of it through those holes you just cut, adjusting the holes if you need to until it fits. So the bar will be on the inside of the pin, and the 2 ends with the pokey end and the lock are on the back where you were holding the pin before. Sneak some glue under the bar to help secure it. Then put more glue where the face will be and press the Totoro piece with the embroidery down onto the top half, lining up the ears with the backing. Finish securing the whole piece with the glue of your choice, cleaning up the edges as you go, then glue the tummy shape into the open spot. Trim around the edges once the glue hardens if there's any glue sticking out or if your felt shapes didn't totally line up. And that's the finished Totoro pin. Next we'll be making a cute Soot Sprite with a star candy. Cut out the body shape by pinning the template to some black felt and cutting out 2 pieces. Pin those 2 pieces together, then cut a zigzag all around the edges of the shape. It's much easier to improvise this than to try to match a template exactly, and this way no 2 will be alike. Cut out 2 of the eye shape in white felt and 2 of the star shape in the color of your choice. Place the eye shapes onto one of the body pieces, which will be the front. Then stitch an oval with some black 6-strand embroidery floss to make an eye just like we did for Totoro. Repeat for the other eye, then tie off the thread with a knot on the back. Now attach a bar pin onto the back of the remaining blank body shape like we did for the other pin. Put some glue between the bar and the felt to secure it. Then cut a piece of black yarn for his arms. Make a loop with the yarn big enough to lay across the middle of the shape and hold the star just below the soot sprite. Then tie a double knot to hold it in place. Trim the ends, then glue the section with the knot so it drapes along the bar pin. Add a drop of glue to one star, place the bottom of the loop of yarn onto the glue, then add another drop and sandwich the other star on top of it. Lastly, cover the pin with glue and press down the remaining piece with the embroidered eyes lining up the edges. Trim around the edges to clean it up and you have a cute little soot sprite pin holding a star candy. These pins are pretty easy to make and you can put them together with leftover scraps of felt since you only need a little bit to make them. You can pin them on your jacket or backpack and have something unique to wear to a convention or to an upcoming Ghibli Fest screening. Aren't these pins so cute? I feel like I should probably make more character pins. I love stitching the little details and people ask about them all the time when I wear them. A bunch of people have been asking me to make Ghibli themed crafts, so I feel like this tutorial was a long time coming. I hope you liked it. Anyway, if you make these yourself, it would be really cool if you could post a photo of them on social media and tag me at LaurenFairWX so I can see how they turned out. And if you just found me and you liked this video, please consider subscribing to my channel so you can see what I make next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon!